Hello and welcome to Bricks. I'm Adam and this is Bricks. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Lego Bricklink Designer Program set called the Snack Shack. As you can see down here, this was designed by Stefan Cornelissen, I'm going to say. This is from the Bricklink Designer Program Series 1, which, they did some Bricklink Designer stuff in the past. I think there was a set of birds and there was the observatory and other stuff, but I don't know if that was like maybe before Bricklink was owned by the Lego group, or I don't know why this is called Series 1 necessarily. But this was one of the ones. It was one of the cheaper ones. I was able to get a couple of this one, and this is set number 910030, and it has 539 pieces, and I paid $50 for this. So I pre-ordered this, crowdfunded this back in maybe February of this year. I ordered 2 copies. That's the maximum amount that a household is typically allowed, unless, I'm sure people can find ways to get around that, but I ordered 2 of these, and this one actually has a little bit of a dent on the box, so I'm gonna build this one, and then maybe the other one I'll keep sealed for a while, or I don't know what else, because it's pretty interesting here. I've never looked at a Bricklink Designer Program set, but I have looked at other mocks and different stuff, including stuff on this channel, and this one was cool. It's not the one I was most interested in, but it was the one that was most affordable. And there's some, I don't think I did any in Series 2, but the funding for Series 3 comes, or is going to start in October, I want to say, and I will probably get in on some of that. And it's just something I'm very, very interested in. Maybe I would try to submit a design sometime, but anyway, I do have this one now, and I don't know if these were sent out early to certain people or in the LAN or whatever, but there's not a ton of them available right now. I think the aftermarket is already up at around $100, which I paid $50 for each of these. I don't know if the market will go up or down. It sort of depends, but I'm excited to look at this. So in this video, I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego Bricklink Designer Program Series 1 Snack Shack, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like the video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That stuff helps me a lot, means a lot to me. Sorry again for my hiatus. Hopefully this is a interesting enough thing for us to come back to, so I can get back on schedule and get back in the groove of things. Have a lot of upcoming stuff, exciting stuff for the channel, at least for me, so that's very good. And then I wanted to talk about the build. So we do work on the kind of base there, kind of the sand area and some of the supports that this is going to go on, and then we work on the base for the trailer, kind of the main floor there, a little more external details, kind of doing this sort of patchwork or this woodwork with some holes in it for the porch area, the deck area there. And then we can start working on some of the side panels for the sort of trailer, the shack that will eventually be known as the Snack Shack. And there's a lot of studs on the side. The end result is very, very finished, not a ton of studs visible. Not that that's a bad thing to have studs visible, but this one, there's like very little that are exposed, which is really cool. There's a ton of brick build details at a really small scale inside there, and you can maybe see them a little bit now. Actually, once the model's completely built, it's a little bit difficult to get access to those, but I try to do a good job about that in the full review. And here we're working on the other side of the end panel here, which is very similar. And then we can work on the front, which will have the service window and the door. This doesn't use a typical door frame or anything like that, not like one of the Lego pre-made door frames. So this door frame is actually a little bit smaller, so the door is just brick built or, tile built, piece built, instead of other things there. And then I did make an error in building this, so I didn't notice it until a little bit later. I was kind of confused here at the end of some extra pieces, and I realized that I instead of using those 2x8 plates, I must have used the 2x16, and that was my mistake. So I do have to, and I don't notice it, right away. So it takes me a little bit of time. And here we go, kind of undoing that error. And, I make mistakes, so that's okay to show that. And now back to the build. So now we're building kind of the rear panel, which is one of the main access points for this entire thing. And, it's not too difficult there. And then we have a ton of like other little details, some little like trays and accessories and stuff. The awning goes on, the menu, we add on the kind of door here, which is the last of the stickers. We do a little bit of a tree, we put some different animals around there, some boxes, tons of different stuff, and that's kind of everything after the tree. So thanks, and now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is this Lego Bricklink Designer Program Series 1 Snack Shack, designed by Stephen Cornelissen. Yes, I think I pronounced that as best as I can. This is awesome. This is really, really cool. I think I saw on either the Lego group website or on the Bricklink website or something, people, one of the frequently asked questions is like, what's the difference between Lego Ideas and the Bricklink Designer Program? And I think the main thing is like, the amount of like verification and trial and different stress tests and everything is different for these than it is for like a Lego Ideas project, and there's a few other things. And I think ultimately the Bricklink Designer programs are maybe even intended for what I think I read that their official thing was like AFOLs, adult fans of Lego, where they said Ideas is maybe more for, adults, teens, experience builders, whatever. And I think, that might be true. This, I will say, feels very cool to me. And I actually don't know if there's anything in here that like Lego wouldn't or couldn't do. I don't know if they changed much from the original design, but I really liked this. And there's a lot of building going on in here. It took me a while to put together, even though it doesn't have a ton of pieces. And I think this is a really nice set, a really, really fun one. So we will get into it. And the first thing we will look at is the minifigures, because you do get 2 minifigures. Now, I don't want to spoil some of the things, although you maybe have already seen all of them from my from the build video, but let me see what I can do here, because I built this character into here, and I'm not sure how easy it will be for me to get them out, which is interesting. I don't know if that's something that Lego would do, the Lego group that is. Let me see here if I pull this down, pop this out. There we go, which does, spoil a little bit of this, but that's okay. I should have maybe just popped them out of there before I started recording. And so we have 2 minifigures here. Ultimately, these are somewhat generic. I know that some of the other Bricklink Designer programs from like years previously, but also from this series might have come with more minifigures. I don't think they made any new prints or any new you know, anything for these, although maybe I'm trying to think. So the first one we'll look at is maybe the employee here. So they have just a baseball cap there, or a cap, no hair, alternate hair for this character. Maybe they don't have hair, that's okay, but we do have some of the facial hair around, kind of the sideburns. Nice face, get the eyebrows, get the mustache. This torso and this leg combination I think I've seen before. Ultimately, we have just a little bit of a couple button details, some rivets for the apron there. Back of the torso has kind of the apron straps and no alternate face. So this one's pretty straightforward. I'm almost certain that I've seen this torso and legs. I think the face is something I've seen before. It could be new for this, but I don't know if they would do that. And then we have another one, and this one I'm a little bit so on, because I don't know if I've personally seen this torso before. But we have another character here, another minifigure. We do have hair for this one. This is maybe someone who's eating at the snack shack, or I think these roles could be reversed and the heads could be switched on different bodies here, maybe. That could be fine. So I don't think they have to be, whatever is designated there. But they do not have an alternate face. But I really like this torso. It has kind of some nice kind of like scarf cowl stuff going around the neck area there. It has kind of a tank top. We have the strap coming across, and at the back we have like a satchel or crossbody bag there, which is really, really cool. So I like to see that. I wear one of those a lot, and I think it's nice that it's on the back here versus being on the front. Sometimes that can happen. We do have printing on the midsection. We do have printing on the legs. So overall, pretty good minifigures here. Not there's just two of them. It's a relatively small set. I'm fine with the amount of minifigures in here. And for something like this, I don't think it needs to have like crazy exclusive minifigures or anything like that. I like that they maybe reuse parts from other stuff that can help keep the price down and whatever else. But besides the figures, we have a couple little other things here. We do have a bird, potentially a seagull here. Now, I have not had this one, I don't think. I don't think I've ever gotten this one before. I don't know how new it is, but I think I have some old seagulls from like way back in the day, maybe in the 80s or 90s. And this one's okay. So this one is actually like rubbery. It's not like hard plastic molded. The wings can bend a little bit, and same with like the tail. So it's kind of that rubbery plastic, and same for even the stud on the bottom. You can see I can kind of squish that, which actually makes this a little bit weird to stud down. I feel like it doesn't maybe stay on as well as it should, but it's just not as strong of a connection because the area down here is not the like hard ABS plastic. We do have printing on the wings, which is really, really nice, with the black and the gray. We do have printing for the eyes, the beak there. I don't think it's dual molded or anything like that, but good to get this. Interesting to see. And we also get a little mouse or a rat potentially. I think this is really cute. It's small, it just studs down on one kind of spot, maybe two. We do have printing for the eyes, but they've had this mold for quite some time. I think this one's all the harder plastic and whatever, and I think that's pretty good. And then the rest of the set is this snack shack, which appears to be a kind of, what do they call these kind of like trailers? Don't they call them like a slipstream or like skystream or stream something? They were like these metallic kind of almost chrome looking like trailers that people could pull behind a vehicle, and I think they were used for campers and used for you know, all different stuff. I can't remember exactly what they are, but it looks kind of something like that, and it's maybe set up on a semi-permanent location on the beach, and they serve food here. This one seems to be, it's almost like a food truck, a kind of deal, but on the beach. And I think that is captured really, really well here. And there's tons of stuff to look at. Besides the figures, I should probably just go ahead and point out some of the other kind of little accessory type things here, because they'll otherwise be kind of falling all over the place. We do have a what I presume is a beverage and a sandwich here, which could go onto this very simple table that might be out on the kind of patio deck area here, but I'll just kind of place those off to the side. And first, what we will look at is the bottom of this, because that's where you start building. It's pretty straightforward, just using a lot of the tan and then kind of this nougat or darker tan, just offset a little bit all the way around. The kind of sub-assembly you make for this front is the same as the one on the side, same as the one over here. And then you start putting in some supports. So or some other kind of little details here. So you can see that the trailer or whatever this is on kind of these wooden stump sort of things. It's not on wheels, so it feels like it's somewhat resting where it will be, and that's all fine. And then you also lay down kind of the groundwork for the sort of deck area here and the stairs and everything else. We do add a little bit of like detail under the stairs, including some like use of like the fence pieces here, which you might not even really notice down there. You also use some a little bit behind this tree. The tree you actually don't add until the very end. Some of the other little details around here, like we do add in this kind of foliage and the one on the other side very early on, because once the kind of whole unit is studded down, it's actually kind of hard to get access to everything there. And as you might have seen, this one is like a little bit loose over here, but I can't actually get in there well to stud that back down. Suppose maybe I can like this, and that should be fine there. So, that's just something to make note of. It's not super easy to remove the kind of whole trailer here, the whole structure from these kind of pillars where it is lifting it up from, or I just imagine this being on a beach and tide could come in and out and whatever, and it would be fine. But it's studded down on 6 of those kind of 2x2 round cylindrical bricks, and those are studded down themselves, and it's just not the easiest to remove that. I think there is a world where they do these same pillars, and then either below it or just above it to connect to the trailer, they put one of the round kind of jumper tiles. So something like up here, if I take this off, like something like this, and put 6 of those in the same kind of brown all the way on all 6 of them, and then maybe this would come off very easily, but I don't know if that's what they intended to, and especially because we do have a good amount of access here, even though I kind of didn't do a good job of utilizing it when I was trying to get this figure out of there. So you start out building the base, you start out building this, and then slowly you start building up the snack shack. And the build process is actually pretty interesting, because there's a lot of like little sub-assemblies, a lot of good building in here. So you start with just the base. It's like tiled out all the way around, good shape. We do add on the kind of side wall here relatively early. It has the window with the kind of grate there, and also a window pane behind there. and there's a lot of studs on the side, studs not on top stuff, and then you start kind of populating the inside with a bunch of sub-assemblies. And you even in the instructions, which there are no physical instructions for this, no printed ones, they're all online for these. So in the box there was just a kind of sheet, a cardstock sheet with QR codes to get the instructions, and stuff like that, and some maybe a picture of the designer there and whatever else. But in the instructions, it did have me place this character inside the snack shack before I finished building. And so you kind of build in all this area in there, and it's a little bit difficult to see everything, but I'll just say before moving on that there's a ton of it's like a full kitchen in there, a lot of really cool small sub-assemblies that are very detailed, utilize some nice pieces, and don't feel too far off from official Lego designer designed builds for similar kind of things for smaller scale, for example, like things in the modular buildings or whatever like that. So that's really, really cool. Then we do work on the kind of front facade here, which is very nice. Again, a lot of studs on the side, studs not on top building. This whole thing, there's not really visible studs on the trailer actually itself for the most part, which is very, very cool. We do put on the roof, and then the last thing you do for the trailer is put on the rear panel, or this side right here. We do then kind of, we have a little bucket over here, maybe for sandcastles. We have a trash receptacle, a little bit of foliage around. Over on the side we have kind of maybe I don't know what that might be, maybe a generator or something. It's like plugged in with a Lego string element there, so it's connected to the trailer, and maybe that is offering, maybe that's where they get electricity from or something like that, or it could be a number of other things, but that's over there. We have some stacked up maybe crates or boxes over here, which is nice. Of course, we do have the kind of palm tree with the birdhouse there and different stuff. And then we have all the internal details, maybe a exhaust kind of thing over here, which is very, very cool and realistic, and I like that. I'll kind of show what this might look like if it was all done together here, and theoretically the table and the sandwich and the drink, those might not stud down on the table, but the table can stud down, and then there's a couple odd studs here for a character to stand, or for potentially the bird to be, maybe they're getting scraps or something, or the bird could be over on the trash bin or something like that. So this appears to be kind of the entrance or the walk-up counter for counter service, where customers might come, and then over here we have the door that employees might use and whatever. There are stickers in this set right here. There are 3 of them, and so those are, I think, kind of obvious and maybe not really. The one up here that says Snack Shack is a sticker. The one that says the menu over here is a sticker, and this kind of black dot on a gray tile is the last sticker. So those are all 3 of them. Overall, they're very easy to put on. I think they look nice. This almost looks like a window or a porthole or like something there, and I kind of like how you see the gray outline around. I thought they maybe printed some stuff that was kind of like this, but it's fine that it's a sticker here. And there's overall good details kind of throughout this, but I think a lot of the really interesting stuff is going to be inside. We do have the nice canopy here. This can be sort of closed or remained open. You do put in these kind of support things, so you would probably want to like pop those off to close this all the way. And even as is, it's not going to close all the way, but we do have like this little awning, including some things that do act as supports, but this is clipped on pretty well. We also have maybe this tray of condiments and different things that gets put. Maybe this is like napkins and ketchup and mustard and salt, or I don't know what all these different things might be, but you have that here, which is very cool. Maybe this is supposed to be sriracha, or I don't know, but good to get all of that. There's also, if you can see, maybe a little bit of like a point of service, a POS machine, or the register, or kind of the iPad, or whatever that this sort of place might have for people to pay and to order from, and whatever else. So that's kind of all over there. And then we'll kind of get into how you get access to this thing. So the main way, for characters to get access, like I said, they can walk up. We do have a functional door here. It's a very easy build. That was one of the things that I thought maybe Lego would have done a little bit more to, hold everything together. There is a light on the inside of the door, so you can open that up, and it's only 3 studs wide, so it doesn't use the typical door frame, which are 4 studs wide. So that's why we kind of make this here, and it's nice. It's not too bad to get that lined up to close, and very minimal gap there, which is nice. And then on the rear here, we do have some windows on the rear, which are fine and can be opened. A little bit of a windowsill here, and then this whole back panel is clipped on. So we can go like that. We could pop open the windows at the back like this, which could let some more light in, but we can have this open all the way. And then what you can kind of do is, I think that allows a little more of the detail to be seen in here, but not everything. And it's sort of doable to like just pop these things out, but I would say can I take this out without destroying anything? So if I pop off the stuff on the side here, and same on this side, so now I'm kind of dismantling this a little bit, and I think on some level that's maybe why you build the character in there, but there is kind of a cheat to get them in, which I will show. But for now, I'll take this apart for the most part, and kind of pop off the roof here once I get this back in. So the roof connects to the front, something a little bit like that. You don't add on the awning until later, but that's okay. And now we can see inside here. Some of this stuff, like this whole contraption here, is on jumper thing, so it's only studs down a couple places, so it's actually pretty easy to remove this out of the back counter, or out of the back panel, and then put the character on that little tile stud plate thing, and then bring it out. For some of these other things, they're a little bit more difficult, and there are a lot of good like details in here. So the first thing I'll show is this, which is like a counter. I think there is a sink here. I couldn't tell if this was a stand mixer or if this was maybe a espresso machine or something like that, but it's red, and then we have the silver there. There's maybe a bottle of something back here, and then I think this is like a grill or like a panini press. We also have some different like drawers and different things around here. We have a pretty good sort of cooler, fridge, freezer type thing. There is a broom, for a minifigure accessory over there, which is clipped to the wall. There's some stuff over here, so some printed things, like this brick is printed, and then there's a printed bee tile in there as well, which kind of gets lost. So there's some honey and I don't know, different ingredients, different things, and different types of packaging there. You have the counter space, which is really well done, and then over here we have a deep fryer. And this is really, really smart and really well well done. I think it's nice that we have the hood here for the exhaust, and that's also the side where the little exhaust pipe comes out of, so that all makes sense. And then we do have these printed tiles for, you know, the kind of speedometer type thing, just the dial with the red and the needle and all the different things. Some grills beneath there, some tiles used underneath to maybe look like the feet. And then this build was just kind of genius to me, using these modified plates with the handles as like the handles of the fry basket, using the clear kind of tile pieces with some of the walls going on. Let me see if I can show what one of those pieces is. I believe we've used some in other parts of this set, and I don't know if how easily it will be for me to take out the fryer here. So let me just try to do this as non-destructive as possible. But we use kind of these clear pieces with the yellow underneath to kind of look like that fry oil or something, which is just really, really smart. And then this fell out while I was kind of maneuvering everything around. We do have a turkey leg, a chicken leg, a drumstick, whatever here, maybe a vegan drumstick or something that is frying. And I like this. We have these kind of offset a little bit, so maybe one is down in here and then it has the timer, and the other one's kind of lifted off to drain or to, you know, drain some of the oil off of the food. And I really, really like that. I think that's super cute, a great little design. It even like things you don't really see, like the grill back here, and then connecting it with the hood and the exhaust all just feels really, really smart to me. So I think this is great. I do like the little contraptions here. This is packed full of details, which means, you know, there's honestly not a ton of space for play. The door is only 3 studs wide, and a lot of the stuff in here is kind of, I think, meant to just be displayed. There's a little bit of room, but I don't think you can realistically walk a minifigure through some of these areas. It would be, you know, you can slide them through maybe on the side here, but their hat might get in the way. If they wear their hat like a really cool person, kind of to the side like that, yeah, they could maybe slide through there. And that's the kind of stuff that I don't know if the Lego group, the Lego designers, are super keen on doing. I know that might not always be able to have like access to play like that, but I think this is there's potentially some things in here that Lego would not do. That said, you know, I'm trying to think of the modular buildings I've built. Maybe there have been some tight spaces like that where you kind of have to use your imagination, and maybe they sort of teleport through. And I'm perfectly fine with that to encourage play. I'm willing to bet there are people who could play with this or could modify it to be a very, very playable set. I think, you know, in my mind, it feels a little more display-like just because of how cramped everything is and how detailed it is, and whatever. But I would never want to like assume anybody's gonna interact with a Lego set a particular way, and I like it to be kind of open for people to do, you know, whatever they sort of want for that. So I really like that. But now I'll sort of put the roof back and kind of show it's not the easiest little thing to take off, and I don't know if it's really supposed to, because you do have to take it apart a little bit. It's not like a modular building that's very, very easy to remove everything. I don't think this was that destructive, but it was a little bit. I mean, and it's easy enough to, you know, put this back together. I think, because I did do this I think once during the building process, because I just made an error. I used kind of the wrong piece, kind of not. I don't think I could have gotten away with it, so I did have to go back and make a correction. So I did have to do this once before. It doesn't feel that bad for me, and I really, really like how this looks. So very, very cool to me. And another little issue there. This popped off. And let me get this back in here. get the door there. So you have to be a little bit delicate with it, but and not everything lines up super perfectly, but it's very, very close. And with a little bit of wiggle room, this might overlap and hit right there, but you can pretty easily get it there. Same on the rear, actually, just the way that this works. Sometimes it could get caught on the side of one of these panels here, but overall I think it's easy enough to work with. And that's kind of everything in here. Surprisingly enough, or maybe not that surprisingly, but it did come with one of those pre-made bags of pieces here, which is for all the little tools, all the mechanic things and stuff. It does use one of them, and that is in the kind of stand mixer espresso machine type thing, and I've already just destroyed that. And that's using this flathead screwdriver right there. And I was surprised. I thought they could have used. There's other pieces they could have used in there. Potentially the bar element that has like a little ridge in the middle of it. I don't have one nearby to show, but they could have used something like that. They could have used even a spoon piece, but maybe that had been done before. I don't know. They could have used other pieces, but that means we do get all these extra little tools here, minifigure accessories. I suppose there's not really storage here. Maybe those could go somewhere and somebody could use them, but overall I think that's a little bit strange but kind of nice. And then the other extra pieces you get are all over here, and you get a fair amount of them. There's a good amount of 1x1s and little pieces in here. You do get an extra of some of the prints, an extra of some of the little like kind of botanical things with the little stem with 3 leaves, the bucket handle, the print for the kind of calculator point of service machine, a couple of the window panes or the grills there. You get an extra of the 5-cent $5 coin, which you may not have seen as we were going over the set. That's because it's like under the patio porch wooden kind of area there. It's under here somewhere, I believe. And then I'm thinking you would have gotten a extra of the bumblebee print, but I'm not seeing one here for whatever reason, and maybe that's intended, but you do get an extra of some of the stuff. Oh yeah, the print right here for the little dial, but yeah, maybe not the bumblebee one, or maybe it's still in one of the bags. But either way, those are all your extra pieces there. Good kind of assortment of extra pieces. And this set is 539 pieces. It retailed for $50 for pre-order. This is one that did sell out, I believe. For the Bricklink designer program, they get funded if at least they sell 3,000 of them, but then they're sold out when they sell 30,000 of them. So it's a little bit of an interesting thing. They're kind of a limited item to a certain extent, and that's one of the other kind of differentiating things between the Bricklink designer program and Lego Ideas. Lego Ideas are kind of just globally available and available at retail places. These, they were only going to ever make 30,000 of them max, and for some of them, if they don't get sold out but they do get funded, they're probably making less than that. I believe this one sold out, so I was able to get 2 of these, and I think, I feel happy about that. I was happy to pay $50 for these up front. I had a feeling that these were going to, well, they didn't actually charge me until they were getting ready to ship, but I did want to make sure I had my pre-order in, and that I supported stuff. Very interesting experience to kind of wait for when the pre-orders would go live, and following and voting on different stuff, and looking at all the different series as they're coming out. And I had a feeling that these would be worth more than what their retail was. I don't know for some of the bigger sets like the Parisian Street. I don't think that one's sold out, but I think it did get funded. I think that one was like $300 or something. I don't know if it's going to be so limited that right away after they ship they're going to be selling for 600 or something like this. It does appear to me that right now a sealed copy of the Snack Shack like this goes for around $100, which is pretty much double what the retail pre-order price was. So value-wise, I think this is pretty good. I was happy to get this. I think a lot of the Bricklink designer programs have kind of good price to part ratios. There are a lot of small pieces in here and nothing like too crazy, no prints. I don't know if there's any recolors in here. I don't think so. So that there are some differences, but no like new prints. There are prints, but no like new prints, no new recolors. I don't think there's really new minifigure components. So all of this stuff is like things that Lego already produces, and then there's differences in the design constraints and the box and whatever else. So I think this was a fair deal for what I got. Does feel a little bit small for a $50 thing, but the level of build, the level of detail, the kind of weight of this, of everything I have here, feels about right to me. So I really, really enjoyed building this. I think it looks great. I think it's really, really fun. I think the designer did a wonderful job, and it was a great idea, and I can't wait to look at other Bricklink designer program sets. This is kind of a special thing that is not a typical set that is on store shelves. I hope if people who watch my videos wanted some of these or whatever, hopefully they were able to pre-order them or knew about it, or maybe you can get in some of the later ones because they might be expensive in the aftermarket. I think potentially these are something that I might keep buying as the series progresses for as long as they go with these, depending on if I find stuff interesting. I think I missed out on like the Mushroom House, which I really wanted that one, and some of the other castle sets and things look really interesting from the Bricklink designer program. Some of the train sets look interesting. I think there's one called the Art of Chocolate that is going for crowdfunding in October, and that one I'm like super interested in, so I really want that and plan on getting a couple of those. And I don't know, this was a very pleasant first experience with the Bricklink designer program set. I really liked the build and very pleased with it. So I think that's everything. I think the deal was fair. I don't know if I would want to pay $100 for one of these. This just doesn't feel like $100 worth of Lego. It does feel like 50 is fair, and it's nice that I was able to buy two of them right away, so I feel very fortunate and lucky for that. And I think that's it. So thank you very much, and if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Lego Bricklink designer program stuff. I don't know if I'm going to have any more of the Series 1. I didn't pre-order any of it, so I would have to get it in, or any of it besides this, so I would have to get it in the aftermarket. But there are some other Bricklink designer program sets, I believe, like the Kanopko or something. There's like a bird one that I really wanted, and there's a few other ones that I would like to hunt down from before this era, and then there's ones in the future. So more of these, but then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Lego videos. And then if you wanted to support this channel in a different way by giving money to the channel, you can do that here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, you can do that. Those avenues are out there. All that money will go back into the channel, and it's a big help. It's not necessary, but for people that are inclined to do that, there are ways for you to do that, and I very much appreciate it. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.